Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for another exciting fun-filled episode on this Passagemaker dinghy build series. We got lots to do, so let's get at it. Alright, so we left off last episode here with the forward section, and I had put the more epoxy and peel ply on top of here. So before I put this back together, I think I'm going to go ahead and we'll do the sanding just like this. It seems like it's pretty solid. And it seems like I can get to most everything. I took the tape off because I'm going to go ahead and do the whole inside here to 220 grit sandpaper, and I think it won't be too bad working on this. And plus, I can set up the camera and we'll do a time lapse of me doing more sanding. Alright, so pretty happy with the way that came out. It was about probably around three and a half hours of sanding you just watched. I don't know how long it took in time lapse, but that's about how much real time it took me. So I will, when we get ready to paint, I'm going to go ahead and put the tape back along here, and then when I'm done priming this section here, I think we'll probably even go ahead and paint it then too. But then we'll come back and do, this was only 120 grit, and we'll come back and probably touch up the parts that won't be painted to probably 220 or maybe even 400, depending on how ambitious I feel. But yep, certainly not going to be a coffee table. But at this point, as long as it's mostly protected and doesn't sink, I think I'm good. So anyways, I'm gonna take a break here for lunch, and then to come back and do the other side of this take apart bulkhead, get it ready for painting also, since I got the boats apart. So we'll pause here and be back in a little bit. Alrighty, it's another day out here in the shed working on the boat, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and tipped up the back part up on its side. Got some cardboard down here, and I got a pad and behind it against the workbench over there. So I think this is going to give me a pretty good spot to do the rest of the sanding on the interior here. It's pretty sturdy sitting here. Like I said, I got cardboard down here. The other thing this does is free up the rest of the shed here, so I can. I was wondering how I was going to finish up the dagger board and the rudder, and then I still have the yard and the boom back here to do, and a couple other the small pieces. So now I've got a good spot that I'll probably take a couple of the sawhorses, put a small piece of plywood on to give me a nice little bench to work on here, and I can keep on going. Not gonna bore you with any more of the sanding, but that's what I got left to do here before I can start painting. I'll have to sand the rest of this. This will probably take me a day or two to finish sanding. I'll take the tape off and do the whole rest of the interior here that I haven't got to yet. And then I'm going to go ahead and also I want to give the dagger board and the rudder a sand, and then figure out what I'm going to do with the other. I've got those other pieces, the rudder board cheek and the mast support base there, that I need to figure out with what to do, and then also the yard and boom. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with those too. So, anyways, yep, got lots to do. When I get to something other than sanding, we'll be back. Alrighty then, it's been quite a while since I've done any recording. I think I am done with the first round of sanding on the boat now. So everything's down to almost where I think where it's going to end up at. But in doing so, I've come to the realization that I absolutely just hate sanding. And this is sanding and getting ready, and all this prep work is really just something I'm really struggling with. But anyway, so a couple things I noticed while I was sanding and getting everything ready is that, yeah, I'm not going to worry about how it looks. This is not a coffee table. I have to keep telling myself that. So I decided that the whole inside of the boat is going to be white, and the outside will be the exterior color, and I'm not going to worry about trying to varnish or anything else. It's all going to be painted white or exterior color, and that's the end of it. So having gotten to that point, then I realized that I might as well go ahead and fill in the planks, the seams where the planks are, especially back here in the back. This plank back here, it's got a pretty good gap, and you can see some of the other ones. There's still a good gap though, even though, if you remember, I did go back and put a coat of epoxy, a clear coat of epoxy in there. I decided I'm just going to go ahead and smear some thickened epoxy in all of the seams to make it smooth, and to hopefully make it smoother, really, because I never liked the idea of having that lip there. Something, you can get caught on it. Water can sit in there. So I think it's better just to go ahead and fill in those gaps, and I'll go ahead and do it for both the back part and for the front part. I'll probably put the front part down level when I get to it. But that's the plan for today, is to fill in the cracks with thickened epoxy. Then tomorrow I'll get back out. The temperatures are kind of cool, so I might have to wait more than a day before I want to sand it down. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get back out, sand down the seams where I smeared in some epoxy, and then start doing the priming. So I'll prime everything at least with one coat, and then probably we'll go to 2 coats. And I'm going to work on the interior here first. So I'll prime everything on the interior with 2 coats, a primer probably, and I'll have to sand that down and then put the final coat on, and then flip the boat over and do the bottom. So the outside, really, it'll be the outside that we'll have to do a similar thing to. But anyways, yeah, so I'll go ahead and set you up. I'll do some epoxy filleting here. This is going to be probably a pretty big job, I think. I might have to go through 2 batches of thickened epoxy, but I'll be using the Flag epoxy resin for this. because that's what I've got. I didn't want to break out another gallon of the LV. I do have another gallon of the LV, but I'll just go ahead and use up the flag for now, and that should be fine with wood flour, and pipe it in and smear it on. So let me get you set up and we'll get that going and see how it turns out. All right, then I got a pretty big old bag here that's filled to just about the top, and it's mostly pretty close to being peanut butter consistency. It's kind of hard in these temperatures. I'm used to being real hot and everything being runny, and in these temperatures everything's a lot thicker. So trying to gauge the thickness is a little bit of a challenge. Just to see if this is what I'm looking for, I'm going to give this a scrape here with my fancy stick here. I think that'll work. Yep. Doesn't need to be big. It just needs to fill in that gap and make it mostly smooth as everything goes flying. I might have overestimated how much epoxy I'm going to need here. I'll have to find some other spots for it. I want to get the rest of this out, so we'll come back when I start smearing it out. All right, still got quite a bit left over. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet, but let me at least get the what I got down here smeared out. And I think we got plenty of working time today to get this straightened out. All right, not too bad. I'll be coming back and hopefully remembering to do the denatured alcohol and smooth it out a little bit. I'll go ahead and pause here, and then we'll probably be back tomorrow to see how it looks. All right, then. So another day out here, and the seams here are looking real good. See some drippage here, but this is just from the denatured alcohol that I used to smooth it out. And I think that'll clean up with maybe some light sanding and some of that de-wax. That should clean right off. Most of it came out good. There's only a few spots, and really it's where I first started doing the putting this down. There's only a couple spots over here that are a little bit light and had a couple of air bubbles. That should clean up, and once I paint it and prime it and everything, that should go away all by its own. So now I think my plan for today and the next couple of days probably, maybe not, maybe just for today, I'm going to go ahead and tilt the boat back up on its edge and put it up against the work bench over there and do the sanding on the fillets the seams that I filled in there, and do that sanding. That shouldn't take too long with just some hand sanding, and then see if I can use up the rest of that Total Protect 2-part primer. There's just a little bit left. I want to see if I got enough to at least get a coat on the two pieces there and the boom in the yard. You know, if I have any left over, I may put another coat on this part here, just to use it up. And then once that's done, hopefully this weekend, I'll put the boat back together, flip it upside down, and then we'll prime the whole inside. And I think that's the way I want to prime it, mainly because even yesterday doing just a little bit I did on the seams there, it just killed my back. So I can't, I don't think it'd be sustainable for me to try to paint the inside of this boat, trying to lean over and get into there. So if I turn it upside down, I think I'll have a better shot at not putting my back out. Oh, that's what I was going to say too. So yeah, so when I put the boat back together this time, I've got some butyl tape. This was about I think it was $7 or $8 from Home Depot. So this should suffice. I can put it around this edge here, and then put the boat together, and then not have to worry about any message there. I hope that butyl tape will just come right off. If not, I think it cleans off with denatured alcohol if you have to. So anyways, let me get this going here. I may come back when I get ready to paint. We'll see how it goes. All right, then. It's been taking me a lot longer than I had thought to do the sanding on the areas where I smeared some more epoxy into. But anyway, so I did come up with a new favorite tool here, and it's this this scraper doohickey here that actually I got from Harbor Freight. So it comes with 6 blades. Let's see if I can show you. So it's got various blades that all fit into this guy here, just with that screw on the top, and then they all reverse any way you want them. So it makes it pretty darn handy for getting into spots, and you know, if I wanted to take time and go through all of them, I've got I probably could use the other end of this guy to really smooth them all out. But mostly what I've been using it for is for the big blobs and for the areas like right in through here. Now I can sand, if I sanded this, one of the things that I see happen a lot is trying to sand something like this through here. A lot of times I'd break through and actually get into the wood around it before I got this sanded down. So taking the scraper here and getting in and just doing some light scraping, I'm able to knock it down to the point where I can get back in and do some sanding. And this wasn't very expensive at all. I was kind of surprised. I think it was around $10. It might have been closer to 15, but well worth it. And it's a lot easier to use this than it is to say try to use a full size card scraper. You know, even trying to get in there with this thing, it works with those card scrapers, but I find this little bitty one pretty nice to give you some good control and let you get in and clean it up. Yep, good. So now I can hit that with some hand sanding and see how it looks. Might need to just take Yep, pretty handy, this from Harbor Freight little scraper tool set. Pretty useful. So I'll go ahead and I'm almost finished here, and then I'll get set up, and I'm not sure if we'll get to it today or not, but I'll at least get set up and cleaned up ready for to get into some more priming. All right, well, I'm almost finally ready to start another round of priming here, but this time I've got a little bit of different setup. So I've got the front part of the boat is still where it's at. I got the dagger board hanging up. I got the back half of the boat up on its side still, and then I've got the yard and the boom suspended there, and then I've got the rudder suspended in the back. Yesterday, before I left, I wanted to take another shot at getting these the end grains of some of these smaller pieces sealed up with epoxy. So I did this already, and instead of sanding it, I just used the greeny scrubby to roughen it up a little bit. So I think I just got to finish doing that for this mast base. Just wanted to make sure the end grain was all sealed up. So I'll just use the greeny, and along these edges there's a couple spots where I'll just use the scraper to clean that up. And then after that, so like I said, I'm going to use up the rest of that Total Protect 2-part primer, and I decided I'm going to concentrate, make sure I get another coat on this and on the rudder and the dagger board. And then if any's left over, I'll probably do the 2 small pieces here, just because they'll probably see a lot of abuse. I'd like to do the yard and the boom, but I don't think I got enough, and probably okay with just using regular primer on them. But anyways, let me go ahead and we'll get this done, and then I'll bring you back. I'll probably show me doing the 2-part on primer on this. I'm not sure if with everything up I'll be able to start on the regular priming today or not, but that's the goal. Alrighty then, yesterday I didn't turn on the camera because by the time I remembered I was almost done. But anyways, I got another coat on this, the dagger board and the rudder. So today I'm going to go ahead and get going on using the regular primer and do the whole boat. Now my idea here is to do 1 coat over the whole thing on the inside. I'll go ahead and, while it's sitting up here, I'll go ahead and do this top side and the back. And then, like I said, I'll do the whole 1 coat over where I've already primed. We'll do 1 coat, and then I think in about 2 or 3 hours, depending on how high the temperature goes, we can come back and do a 2nd coat over just the areas that don't have a primer coat on them already. So anyways, yep, that's the plan for today. I'll go ahead and get busy, and I'm not going to try to film it, but we'll take a look at how far we get when we're done. All right, yesterday I did get 2 coats on the interior of this back section, but that was about all I was able to do. I still got to do the front section and the yard and the boom, and the mast support in the back there. But yeah, so this came out pretty good. There's a few spots I might just go back over today. Kind of hard to see on the camera, and I'm not sure how much it matters because it feels real smooth. And I will be doing a hand sand on this, just really to scuff it up, I think, because like I said, it is pretty smooth, and I just think I need to just key the surface here now to do the painting. Now when I do the real paint, I will be inverting the boat and putting it suspended here and doing the painting from underneath, mainly because I think that's really, it was pretty tough to get in under here and get in the back on these guys. Even though it looks pretty good, I think it'd just be a little bit easier to do the do a good job on the interior when it's suspended, and I can get up in underneath there and get everything real good. So yep, so today I'm going to go ahead and do the front part here. I'm going to do both the I'm going to prime both the inside and I think I can get to the outside here good enough to do the outside on this part. And of course, when I still have to do the bottom here. So I think probably over the next couple days I'll do the 2 coats on everything, and then I may even flip the boat over to do the hand sanding. I'm not sure yet on the order of operations, but anyways, it's going pretty good. Pretty happy with the priming so far, and we'll just keep on going and be back later. All right then, so I think I'm done with the priming now. So I turned the boat over on the other side here, so I could get this side here was on the bottom when I did the other priming. I did that so I could finish up the bulk of the priming. So I've got the boat both inside and outside done, and then I've got all the different parts all primed up, including the tiller and all the other different parts are all primed. I might have to do some touch up here and there, but I think we should be pretty good. I do have a little bit of the primer left. I probably got about I don't know, maybe about a quart or so, maybe a little bit less of the 1-part primer left. So I've got enough that I can still do some touch up if I get to it. There's a couple spots that probably won't come out. There's a couple drip spots, but anyway, so the plan is now I'm going to put the other parts back away and get the boat back on the other side, and then I'll go ahead and do the hand sanding on the inside, both the back and the front, and then I'll put the boat together, and then we'll do the paint on the inside, and I'm going to do it upside down, hanging from the rafters kind of thing. So anyways, I'll go ahead and pause here. Let me see how far I can get at the hand sanding. I'm hoping it shouldn't take more than a day or two. It's going to be a light sand, more of a scuff up. So just hopefully we can get through that pretty quickly. Alrighty, so over a period of probably 3 or 4 days, I worked 2 to 3 hours a day on doing the hand sanding. And again, it's not perfect. A couple spots where I've gone through, but it's mostly smooth to the touch. There's a little bit of texture left on it, but not enough to worry about. So yep, so I got it all the inside hand sanded with the 220 grit sandpaper. Used up quite a bit of sandpaper, but I'm mostly okay with the way it looks now. So now I think the job is to put the boat back together. I'm going to use the butyl tape on this section here, and I think I'm going to try to put it back together upside down so then I can just lift it up. I still have the outside to do, and I might do that sanding next before I get to painting. I think that might be the way to go, is get all my sanding done first and then do the painting, both interior and exterior. So let me get you set up, and we'll see if we can get this butyl tape on and get the boat put back together. All right, so I've got this part of the boat propped up a bucket with a pad here, and I've got my butyl tape, and so now I guess I'll just if I can find the end of it, we'll get, is that it right there? See what kind of mess this makes. All right, got scissors, got butyl tape. Just get started over on this end here. Again, this is just so that when I do go and paint the boat on the outside, that the paint doesn't run down in between and get actually the front of the boat where I want to glue, or have to glue on that rubber piece. the rubber gasket in between the front and the back. Hopefully this is easier to get off than that silicone. And hopefully I can clean up the squeeze out, any squeeze out there is, pretty easily too. I had considered going ahead and putting the rubber gasket on, but I decided against it because I don't want to take any chance in damaging it. And I guess, and even more important, I haven't gotten the contact adhesive yet to do that, and I didn't want to make a trip up to the store yet. That's the real reason. All right, that wasn't too bad. All right, so I got the bolts and stuff ready, so I should be able to, especially on the these ones here, I should be able to reach through and put the bolt in on from the other side and get that tightened down, and then I should be able to reach up and get the other one from the other side. So I've got the front half just sitting here, so I can just hopefully lean it down, and it should be able to line right up and fit right in place. I'm gonna bring this bucket back out. Hopefully the butyl doesn't get stuck to that. So hopefully I can lean the front part on that. All right, let's give that a shot. Just like that. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to drill the holes out because they're all closed up with the primer and everything now. Really? All right, take two. And maybe not take two. And I also got to clean out the threads on the stud sticking out from the other side. So let me pause here and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, take whatever one this is. It must be up to 4 or 5 by now. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy back down. Get it lined up here. I'm gonna have to let's try to get this tilted up now. All right, that ain't gonna work. All right, I'm gonna have to tip the boat over and do it the hard way. All right, let's see if we can get it this time. Well, good grief. Oh my goodness. Oh, one of these days I'll figure out a method for doing this, but it won't be today. Alrighty. Goodness gracious. Alright then, after the required amount of cuss words, I've got the boat back together and upside down so I can go ahead and sand this the outside here. I did get some pretty good squeeze out here. I think it's going to be just enough to make sure we don't get any or limit the amount of paint that comes down in the seam here when we do put the final coat on. So yep. So next step is to sand the whole outside, and a couple things when I do it. Remember the wire holes here for the stitch part of the stitching glue. So I do have wood toothpicks now. So when I sand this down, if I see any that are open, I'm going to go ahead and put a wooden toothpick in it and smooth it off. And I may touch that back up with, once I get done, I may come back and touch those up with some of the 2-part epoxy primer that I have left. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, so we got quite a bit of sanding here. Also, it's going to be probably, it might even be up to 6 weeks before I get another video out. I got just a ton of stuff to do around the house, and I got to get the trees and everything trimmed up before it gets just boiling hot out there. So got quite a few things to do besides the boat, and the motivation to do more sanding. The struggle is real, I tell you. It's a real struggle wanting to come back out here and do more sanding, but we'll get it done. Like I said, it might be another up to maybe even 6 weeks before I get another video out. So don't worry about me. I'm staying busy, and we'll get this boat finished up one of these days. So anyways, I want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me, and please subscribe. Everyone, take care and be good.